Y'all can't see it. There's a happy visitor visiting thing on my chest. Cause I was at a real place just now.
I was at a real place.
A real place, a real ass place. You remember that South
real
Park
people.
episode? Shit goes down in the nursing home. I was at a nursing home to visit my grandmother. On the Double D experience. I should have just brought my phone. We could have done it there.
Could have made a
Overhyped.
YouTube short.
Listen to the tired, sad souls screaming for help in the corner. You know, the ones reaching for me in the hallway. The struggles to try to get my grandmother's TV working, and also to communicate with her. But yeah, that would have been great content, right, guys? I don't look like enough of a douchebag yet to make content like that. Yo, what's up, gamers? Today we're gonna go to the nursing home and visit my geriatric grandmother. Grandma, how you doing? Like, no, I'm not.
Bro, if you were, though, I might honestly would have to stop being friends with you.
I would not. I would.
And I think it would be the same if you found out that I was slowly becoming that. And because, like, I think for both of us, it's just like, at least if we just think of each other separately, we both just can't deal with that bullshit. We're too fucking old.
Yeah, but it's gonna happen to us at some point because we have been gradually gaining subscribers ever since posting Double D Experience YouTube Shorts, which thank you guys for all the love on the shorts.
Hey!
I want to get to the point where we'll have enough of a backlog of those to post them pretty much every day.
Hope you
and
love
we
Chell
almost
like I
didn't.
do.
We almost did. No one loves Chell as much as Dennis. I showed that to my boy Kelvin last night. We had a nice, real heart-to-heart about my past and relationships and stuff like that.
And Hispanic
last
women.
night. and Hispanic women. And I showed that to him. Dennis, and he immediately saw the picture of Chell, heard you say they had no right, and he just started nodding. He was like, "Yep." Like, I know what's going down with this one. He's like, yo, me too, bro. He said, like, this was legit my sexual awakening, and I'm not capping it. He said, yo, me too, bro, me too. This is why I chose you to be my co-host for the show. You're more relatable than you think. And you're real, and you're unabashedly yourself, and you're funny as fuck, and you don't give yourself enough credit for it. So, his response, or his reaction to that video was proof enough of that. We made relatable content, Dennis. Shorts are the play. I don't listen to you enough.
I mean, that's the thing with you. It's just like, I tell you things like twice, and I'm just like, okay, maybe. Hopefully, by the third time, he'll actually listen to me. And 60% of the time, yeah, it happens, so.
Yo, bro, did you say something? I was taking some delight in the juice of the barley real quick.
Anyways, guys, welcome to the Double D Experience today. Sometimes,
in a nursing home.
Sometimes, yeah, senile, sometimes old, sometimes
geriatric.
I forget. That was a joke because it's like, you know, I said senile and then and I was like, wait, what did I say?
Do you remember that Koopa in Paper Mario 64? Like the one where you do like that fetch quest for or whatever. The one that's just in his house and he's just fucking shaking.
Isn't he? He was like the second partner you get, right? I think.
No, not
Cooper.
Not the partner. There's like an old elderly like Koopa. Like you go into like one of the houses in like the Koopa town, and his sprite is literally like moving. It's like shaking, like because he's like about to die.
I don't remember. Wow, what about him?
Nothing. I was just surrounded by people like that, like 10, 15 minutes ago. Here's how this shit went down, right?
Yeah,
I was
go
late
ahead.
to the podcast today for Dennis, and I'm explaining this to him in the same way I'm explaining it to you guys. I was at the nursing home.
Oh, he is an old fuck.
Yeah, no, I remember because when we did the Paper Mario Let's Play, you laughed your ass off as soon as...
I just saw the sprite right now. I was like, wow. Like
when we did our Paper Mario Let's Play back in the day, we opened the door and you laughed your ass off going into that. Like, you were laughing so hard. You were like, look at this fucking geriatric fuck. And, yeah. So we went in. I went into the nursing home today. My father visits my grandmother pretty much every day. I have a 94-year-old grandmother. God bless her soul. She is Cuban, so she is probably going to live another 10 years, and I'm not capping when I say that.
Hispanic women in general, too. They just live for a long fucking time. They just don't die.
They got Jesus power, dude. Like, I'm telling you, there's something to it.
It's either that or just, like, spite. That is, like, causing them to not die. Like, I honestly, like, you know, it's so odd because it's like, typically, you know, stereotypically what we know of for like Hispanic men, we just know them as like very like kind of like stubborn, but like very like fun kind of people. You know, it's for the most part they just kind of like to fuck around and like dance and like that's like you know how they like kind of go through life, stereotypically at least. But then you go to like Hispanic women and it's just like everyone like you know, of course like knows them for you know obviously just being like great, especially if like traditionally like you know in the it's like a traditional Hispanic household like just you know very Catholic you know and all that, but they could have some they could harbor some hatred, they could harbor some spite. I guess that's souls.
Part of what keeps them going. I
don't know it's all jokes, but it's just kind of like I don't know, like it's just like the whole like chancla thing. Off of that immediately.
No, that's real.
You never hear the dudes ever talk about, oh, I'm gonna hit you with the chancla. They'll just beat your ass. They don't fucking need a weapon.
I worked at the American Dream Mall, and the plethora of millions of stories that I have at that place. I remember walking out of the place, and a woman was like trying to discipline her kid, and he was acting up, and then she literally just reached for it, and he stopped. As I was walking, like just literally, like she reached for the chocolate.
She didn't even care.
Like, that was real.
Saw.
That was real fucking shit right there, honestly. No, a lot of people didn't care about things. I remember a father once told me he was going to beat his kid in the car for breaking one of my Shishibo cubes, which he didn't even do. As if I was supposed to somehow react like, thank you. Thank you for telling me you're going to do bodily harm to your child. I feel so much better now. As if that was this guy's fucking world. What a sad life. Anyway.
I don't beat my kids, though.
Well, I mean, that you know, that ass is all game, boy. You know, Filthy Frank. That's what he says. Like, eventually you got to do something, otherwise they'll just like, you know, override you, or they'll grow up to be like super like
do anything
stubborn and like not even stubborn, but like what's the word I'm looking? I was telling a fucking story. All right, dude. I'm sorry. I'm actually kind of agitated right now. Go
ahead. Tell your story.
Yeah. But whatever. Like, yeah, they'll grow up to be like pissed. Or whatever, like, or spoiled. That's the word I'm looking for, because they'll think they can get away with anything.
Yeah, they grow up to be little shits.
Yeah, pretty much. Making YouTube shorts for content.
Pushing over old people. It's like, oh, content. All right, grandma, you gotta fall for the camera, okay? You gotta make it real good. It's my livelihood we're talking about right now. Like, I'm literally like $200,000 away from my Lamborghini. I just need you to fall on the camera.
Son, you know John F. Kennedy was a very good friend.
No, grandma, you gotta fucking listen to me. You gotta fall. All right, you know we gotta do this. Don't you want to get millions of views?
Oh, I remember his
Grandma, all you gotta do.
Kennedy. John F. He would get millions of views.
Grandma, I'm gonna do you a big favor, okay? I'm gonna push you down these stairs. You're just gonna forget about everything. It's gonna be just real simple. It's gonna be just like boom. You're not even gonna feel it, Grandma. It's gonna be over in an instant. It's gonna be boom, done. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine, Grandma.
What's up, Steve Squad? Today we're at the nursing home. But before we start this video, you gotta that subscribe button. If you want to check out more videos like this one. Now we got some good old patented Steve stairs for the Steve channel for you guys. We're gonna do a nice visit to my grandmother. Gonna push her down these stairs.
Guys, guess what? My grandma is such a champ, she even gonna wear protective padding. That's how fucking hard my grandma is.
And if she survives, we're gonna give every nurse in here $10,000.
It's like some Mr. Beast shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know that...
I ended 10,000 old people's lives.
You know the Mr. Beast post that he does? That's just him getting ready to push somebody down the fucking flight of stairs. Like the fucking Mr. Beast pose when he turns to the camera. He's like, you guys know,
it's just like him and the old person in frame, and it's just like him about to like just push them. It's just like, and he just looks like this. like semi-manic.
We removed the eye sockets of every blind person we couldn't cure in that video. And gave them to charity. Because they don't need them. God knows they don't fucking need them.
Oh my god, dude! I haven't seen you bust out laughing like that in a long time, and like your laugh is contagious too. So like it just got to me
so hard. I appreciate you saying that. What's up, gamers? Today we're gonna push old people down flights of stairs. But before we do that, you better hit that sub!
You know
like
that
those obnoxious-ass YouTuber sounds.
Yeah, like, you know also, like, years ago, there was probably one prankster YouTuber who probably pushed an old person down.
It definitely happened. Are
like,
you
it
kidding?
had to.
Prankster YouTube channels are among the worst YouTubers known to fucking man. Like, they're some of the scummiest fucking human beings. Them and, like, just general, like, scammers, like peddler influencers, you know what I mean? Like, mostly the kinds you find on TikTok, but there's plenty on YouTube as well. But, like, prank YouTubers are some of, like, the most grown-ass man-children, immature-ass, like, fuckboy will do anything for fucking views, like, in the world. And the worst part is that a lot of them make content for kids, but whatever. Let me get back to the story now. Holy shit. What's up, gamers? I visited the nursing home today. My father visits my grandmother every day because he's the best son in the world. And it's one thing after another. You know, taking care of an old person is hard. That's why she's there in the first place. She lived with us for a year. And once my mom had her heart attack, you know, it was time. It was time once my mom had her heart attack. It was too much for her to deal with and stuff. It was a lot on me and my sister. But that's not the reason that we did it, you know. It was just time, you know. Like, she's old. She's 94. She don't walk so good no more. It happens. So I went there because my father is a little under the weather right now. It's better that he does not go visit a 94-year-old in a nursing home when you're sick. And so I went, and I was just literally all I'm doing is just putting on her telenovelas for her. And we have like a little fire tablet for her that we did. Her show doesn't come on till 8, fucking Las Edanames or something like that. I think that was what it was called. I don't remember. That's not a good strong word for going there. It's difficult. I don't speak Spanish. My grandmother only speaks Spanish, so that alone makes it awkward enough. I Google Translate the fuck out of that, and Google Translate is horrible, as we all know. It's not grammatically correct when it transfers to languages. It translates words very well, but it does not transfer the grammar. Like, Spanish has
thoughts, like, you know, it doesn't convey what you're trying to say even too well at that. Like, you could say something like, you know,
there's idioms and intonations that, like, Google Translate doesn't pick up. You know what I mean? It just translates literally what you wrote down. You write, oh, ass, culo.
Yeah.
Like, you write titties, titas. Like, it does that. Like, so I try, and we do it, and she understands me. She knows I don't speak the Spanglish very well. Should probably get on that, to be honest. But, so I set up her show for her, and in the meantime, my father wanted me to put on the TV Univision, because her show was on Unimas. I hit her television, and that shit's not working. I'm like, huh! I wonder why that is! Apparently, they had been upgrading the service in the nursing home. And for whatever reason, they left my grandmother's TV not functional. So I go to try to fix it, because I'm tall enough. And I go to, like, she's got a roommate, right? Her roommate, who wasn't there, and doesn't even really watch the TV, he's got a coaxial cable just, like, boop, just stuffed into it, right? Like, simple. Is there a coaxial cable stuffed into my grandmother's TV? Don't answer that. It's not long enough. So it's in one of those fucking DVI ports or whatever, where there's like 3 coaxial cables. I have to plug one into one spot, another into another, and another into another.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, after these guys fucked with it at the nursing home all day, it wasn't working good no more. So I try to fix it. I get the nurse in to try to fix it, and the nurse is upset too, because he knows, like, oh, that's not going to work, because, you know, she needs her telenovelas. She's 94. What you're going to take a telenovela away from a fucking 94-year-old Cuban woman? Are you kidding me? Are you joking? Do you know the ramifications of that? That's like an irredeemable sin. That's like the hidden 11th commandment that was on the back of the tablet. You don't do that. Okay? You don't fucking
Moses
do that.
literally went up there and said, yo, don't fuck with these Cuban women and their novellas, man. Just don't do it. It's just like this little small postscript that he put in that nobody fucking ever noticed until like some poor fuck like turned the tablet over because it was too fucking heavy. So it was just always like face up with the 10, but that one that was on the bottom was always hidden. And then finally when they flipped it over, it's just like, what the fuck is Cuban women?
Yeah, what would the Bible interpretation of that even be? Like they'd be like, what is a telenovela? Like they wouldn't know that.
Like saw the future. It's just like, yo, you don't fuck with these Cuban women, man.
There's the book of novelas. It's like the hidden like part of the Bible.
Hell hath no fear like a Cuban woman.
I'll tell you that much. As somebody who is Cuban, who's dealt with Cuban women in the family, who's fucked Cuban women, I will tell you straight up, they are, fiery crack. Oh, not to mention Remy. Not to mention fucking Remy.
If they love you or if they like you, like they'll very much show it. But they hate you. Oh, they'll show that in spades. Trust me.
We'll talk about the telenovela. Where you wanna go? Where you wanna go, man?
Starting to take off their slippers. It's just like, where you gonna go?
Where you
Where you
wanna
gonna
go?
go, man?
Go.
Oh, is that?
Go. Where you wanna go? Yeah. Okay.
The only Cubans that I've ever met are like, including you at least, are like very much Wonder Bread Cubans.
Yeah, dude, they come as light as me or as dark as LeBron.
No, not even that. Like, even just like you, they barely speak a lick of Spanish.
Why do you think, dude, we are the white people of Cubans? I will die on that fucking hill.
You mean white people of Hispanics?
Yes, thank you for correcting me on that. I appreciate that. Where we are the white, yeah. No, well, obviously, yes. No, Cubans are the white people of Latins. I will die on that hill. I will die on that fucking hill. For starters, we are a communist country. Okay?
Yeah, your government is, but your people aren't.
Yeah, our people aren't, but like we were forced to. 2, Donald Trump won Florida because of Cubans.
Yeah.
They voted for him.
Yeah. En masse. Really.
En masse, really. I remember watching like those rallies that they were having and whatnot. You might be surprised for that. You might think white people are the only people who like him. Well, first of all, like I said, Cubans are the white people of Latins. Second of all, those people, my people, fucking suffered under communism. Hard. My grandfather had his family's business taken away from him by Castro. The restaurant that they had, just mine now. Yeah. They suffered under that fucking the flaws of communism. Who's like the least communistic dude you could possibly think of running for president right now? Donald fucking Trump. There you go, Mr. Capitalism, Mr. Moneybags. It adds up. That's really the reason, not because they hate minorities or shit like that. It's because literally he's the antithesis to communism. That's why they like him. So
the anti-communist.
3, we are I guess. Yeah, that's the reason. There's one more reason. I think there are some Cubans who do like their steaks well done, because I know my father does, and a part of me hates him for it. So I don't know if that's it as well. So those are my reasons for like why Cubans are the white people. Not to mention the fact that Cubans are literally some of the most light-skinned Latins as well. I mean, Mexicans are also very light-skinned. There's some very like Darnelo, like the fighter, that boxer. He's whiter than me, and I'm not even kidding. He's so white, his fucking hair is red, and he's Mexican,
which is so crazy considering like
and he does not speak like a lick of English either.
You know, the thing is, I don't think I can be surprised by that anymore, because it's just like no matter where you go in Latin America, there's always like light-skinned Colombians, light-skinned Mexicans, light-skinned Peruvians. Like they're all just kind of like left over from like when the Europeans essentially were there, and like that blood and genetics just kind of have persisted till now. Yeah. And like I've even seen a ginger Colombian, which I was like, I didn't even think that was possible, like, in my life. But they exist, so,
And they're straight up black Cubans.
Yeah.
Like, dark black Cubans. Like, they look like Africans. It's crazy. So anyway, back to the story. So I'm trying to fix that for her. I'm standing there for like a half hour. She's giving me all sorts of advice in Spanish. I don't understand a lick of the words. It's awful. I feel terrible as a grandson for that. And eventually I just give up and I tell them they're going to fix it tomorrow because I had the nurse say he's going to call the dude or whatever. And then I hatch an idea. Her neighbor's TV is working, right? So I'm like, oh, maybe in the meantime I'll turn it because her program doesn't start till 8. And I was there at like 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I had to, not to mention I was stressed about it too because I'm like, I have to get over here to do this shitty show. And so eventually I'm like, okay, I'll take her neighbor's TV, which is on the other side of the room. I'll turn it and I'll find Univision, like for her to watch in the meantime. And it'll be good to go. So I get there, and apparently this is one of the TVs that they upgraded already. So all the channels are completely different. And I can't find the remote. And I'm not about to dig through the bed that was there to find the remote. Because a lady died in it 3 weeks prior.
Oh.
And not to mention it wasn't my stuff to touch. I shouldn't have even been doing what I was doing. But I'm like, you know what? If this is the way I got to do it, it's the way I got to do it. Because I put every coaxial cable like in every single different spot, like unplugging them, rescrewing them, screwing them back in, screwing them back out, and all the various different ports. Nothing was working. So I'm like, fuck, this TV's just, all right, they got to fix it, whatever. So I go to the other side of the room, I turned it to her, and I turned the TV on, and there's no remote, right? So I'm standing there, just fingering like the fucking prostate of this television. Underneath it, like with my finger up like those like dials that they have that nobody uses because we're millennials and we use remote controls for things until they gave us touchscreens. And I start flicking through, right? No description given for any of the channels on this LG television. Life's good. All the channels are completely different. It's not in like the normal order that like Optimum would have it or Verizon or whatever. It's like, I'm pretty sure they have like some sort of like hard line, like satellite or whatever. It might have been DirecTV. I don't think it was DirecTV. I don't know. So all the channels are in a seemingly random order. You'd have ESPN next to like Hallmark and then like HGTV next to like fucking Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. On like the Discovery Channel. There's no order. And the only controls, because I don't have a remote, are to raise and lower the volume and to switch the channels. So I'm standing there with my dick in my hand, like, flowing through channels like a goddamn pilgrim. Like they did in like the olden days. Because there's no remote or nothing. I literally have to, like, it's like a fucking Amish-ass television. Scrolling through all the channels, just trying to find Univision. Going through, over and over and over again. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is what people used to have to do. Oh my god, I'm a millennial. I'm used to having everything fucking instantaneous. And, like, so I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. So, eventually, and this is what happens. A lady comes, right? Not a nurse or whatever. This lady comes and she literally and metaphorically rolls through on her wheelchair and comes in and is like, they're always fixing the televisions here. And I'm like, nah, I just can't get my grandmother's television to work. They did something to it, so I'm trying to use the neighbor's one right now. And she's like, yeah, we have all new channels, but they got rid of some of the old ones. I listen to NPR every day, and the new one doesn't have NPR. And I'm standing there like, man, fuck. They took away this bitch's NPR? I don't like how shit goes down in the nursing home. My god. If somebody took away my YouTube, I'd be tight.
Or even just the internet in general. Like
Well,
your
that's
ability to access the internet.
Yeah, well, then I can't job hunt. Or jack off. Then I can't look at porn. Well, I mean, I can't jack off, but, you know.
Yeah,
I'd be
but
jacking
you
off,
need-
like, once again, just like how I'm flicking
need,
televisions, I'd be jacking off like a pilgrim.
Yeah, you need some visual aid as it goes.
Fucking A. And so I finally, after all this time, fiddling it with, like, for, like, half hour, I swear to God, I find Univision. And as soon as I do, I raise the volume all the way up, and my grandmother is able to mutter herself a word of English out. And she says, no, off. Like, Off. Off. You want it off. See? She didn't even want to fucking watch TV. She had her tablet the whole time. And that is why I was late for the podcast. Oh, yeah, and the actual reason I was late is as I was leaving, I realized I didn't lock her wheelchair. And I'm like, I doubt anything's gonna happen, but I got mad paranoid, so I'm like, I ran back inside and just, like, made sure that shit was all, like,
The thing is that you can never leave shit like that up to chance with a
not worth the risk.
It's
not
just
worth
really
the risk.
not.
I'm like, I had to be late for the and I actually would have made it on time if it wasn't for that, but I'm like, it's not fucking worth it. Like,
It's
I gotta...
almost the same as when, like, people take care of, like, you know, infants. It's like, you can't risk nothing. Like, you just cannot risk them getting hurt at all.
Better safe than sorry, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're gonna lock the wheelchair, lock it. Just
And my grandmother,
don't even think
you know,
about it, just do
my,
it.
my grandmother basically can't walk no more, and she still tries to go to the bathroom by herself. Is the thing. So like, it's not.
Christ.
So I had to make sure like that the wheelchair wasn't moving because I didn't want her to slip out of that shit because she's fallen plenty of times. That's another good thing about like old Cuban women. They can fall, and holy shit, they know how to break bones better than anyone else. Tell you that much. God, if my father heard me saying any of this, he would be so upset.
Which is probably why you should be thankful that he doesn't watch this fucking show.
At least not yet. More people are listening. I'm not kidding. We gained subs, like 100+ subs ever since we started posting shorts.
Oh, fantastic.
And it's only gonna get better from there. So, oh boy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, guys. You fucking squirrel ass attention spans. I do have one other topic in mind, but I've been talking for quite a minute. If you have anything on your mind, my bestest buddy Dennis, I would like you to take the floor now. Only if you had anything prepared. Or even if you didn't. Like, what's on your mind, buddy?
It's on my mind.
What's on your mind today, Dennis? How you doing, buddy?
I guess in layman's terms, I don't know, man. I really, at the very least, like, oh yeah, by the way, we're recording this essentially on Valentine's Day. So, you know, for all you single men out there,
you're gonna die alone. Give up now. Dating is only getting worse, dude. Women are becoming more malignant and narcissistic. Men are becoming more incel-like and like entitled.
Not to mention,
it's over, guys. The dating pool is fucked. You will never find love. Don't even bother trying. You have to pretend to be someone you're not. Don't be yourself. Ever.
Fake it.
Don't ever,
fake it
ever
till you
be
make
yourself.
It. Fake it till you make it.
And if you feel like you need to be yourself, you might as well kill yourself because you got a better chance at doing that than finding love. But guess what, guys? Today's opposite day. I didn't mean any of that. If you're single, guys, don't sweat it. It just means that your time hasn't come
it's
yet.
whatever.
That means your time hasn't come yet. It is. You should never be in a relationship for the sake of being in a relationship. You should be with somebody because they're the person you like. If you try to force it, it's actually the best, like, I don't watch Family Guy no more, but it's the best Family Guy quote ever. It's like, oh, like, bad relationships are like taking a shit. If you gotta, they're like if, or it's like a fart. It's like a fart when you're trying to shit. If you have to force it, it's probably crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, dude, that was actually unironically poetic as shit. Like, I can't even, it was actually really smart.
You know what's so funny, too? Like, me and my girlfriend, we actually, like, we both agreed, like, a week or two before that we aren't going to do anything for Valentine's Day. Like,
That's
we just
kind
kind
of
of
fucking actual strength of a relationship. Hey,
Well,
do we
I
have
mean,
to do
that's the
something for
thing.
Valentine's Day?
But that's why, like, you know, every time we meet up, right? It's like, as corny as it sounds, it's already almost like a Valentine's Day, I guess. Just minus the fucking hearts and chocolates and flowers. Like, it's like really like any other day, really. Like,
Exactly. Like, if you feel like, if you're dating a girl who's just like, he didn't even
or
buy
if you're
me
dating
flower.
anybody, you could be gay too. It's even if your man's like, I want to do something for V-Day. It's like, what, is our relationship not gonna stand the test of time if we miss one fucking February 14th?
If your relationship cannot stand the test of time because of a fucking, like, arbitrary-ass holiday marked on a calendar, then your relationship is dog shit.
Not to mention, it's like V-Day
Every day should be Valentine's Day for you guys. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, if anything, I'm happy you and Jen aren't doing anything for Valentine's Day because you don't have to. Because you guys have been together a long time, Morty. And
Don't cancel me, Morty.
the fact that you don't have to do anything special for Valentine's Day because you recognize every day of my life is special with you.
Also, at least
You know,
and
that's
if we're
the
gonna-
real reward right there.
And if we're just gonna put it like on a tier list, right? It's like birthdays, like let's say our birthdays, like I'll say this before I go on. It's just that like I care more for her birthday than I care for mine. Like, and it's the vice versa for her to mine.
Aww.
So because it's like at the very least, like with the way that I think about like my birthday, since it falls like on an actual like holiday, right?
Mm-hmm.
It becomes a fucking contrivance just to even like get people together, because it's like on New Year's Day I don't want to see nobody, and probably nobody wants to see me either. So it's just a mutual agreement of like, I really wish I could not do anything. I wish. But a lot of times, at least with my family, like we always do meet up for New Year's Day. And then there's been times, man, where I just straight up was just kind of like, I wish I could get blackout drunk the night before. And I'll just be so hungover that I just, like, I tell my mom, I can't show up. I can't go today. I'm just so fucked up, I can't go. Like, there were many times where I was just kind of like, I'd rather be in bed. I would rather just be under my covers today than go see anybody. But
It's gotta be awkward, man. Like, you know, like New Year's Eve the night before. Oof. God.
especially if you, I mean, but the thing is, a lot of my family, we're not so young anymore where we could, like, realistically get that fucked up and be, like, at least semi-okay when we wake up in the morning.
Uh-huh.
Now, if any of us do, like, try to go and, like, party that hard, like, we will be very fucked up, like, by the end. I think just collectively, like, most of my family, at least, like, my nuclear family, and plus even my cousins, like, think we all just, like, they're just getting older, really. Like, I've even noticed that, like, a lot of us just, like, love to go home early. I think we just don't want to fucking stay out. Like, I'd rather just go home to bed. Like, immediately.
Real shit, man. When you get to your 30s or whatever, and, like, you and your girl or whatever, it's just like, yo.
Or even if it's just you. It's
like,
like,
do
it's
you-
the same way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's
I'd
like, do you
rather
miss-
just go home.
Do you miss our bed as much as I do? Yeah, and then you're in bed, like, before 10, and you're like, oh.
It's like you're not even fucking either. It's just
like
I just want to go home to go to bed.
All you young Zoomers listening don't understand, like, the heavenly aspect of that. Y'all don't have herniated discs like I do, alright? At the ripe old age of 26.
Or lower stamina at the age of 29.
Yeah. So y'all don't understand? You're not a fucking loser for being in bed before 10 o'clock, alright? Reminds me of that fucking asshole who, like, when I was in PJs, when I was at Shine 2017, I wasn't going to the after party, and she's like, are you really going to bed? I'm like, did you really just say that to me?
How old was she?
I didn't even know her name. This girl said that to me.
How old did she look then?
Too old to be partying with smashers, but young enough to be able to go to these things and masquerade herself as somebody who belongs there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 35.
Yeah, you already know. This was before the Renaissance. This was before the Renaissance, all right?
Renaissance or the Reformation?
So, both.
Y'all kind of had those both together, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was a Renaissance for about 2 weeks, and then it just demanded a Reformation.
It lasted a little longer than that, but yeah. Oh boy. Funny shit.
Dark
Huh?
time for your community.
I mean, I was actually at a Smash event last night, and I was having so much fun, man. But, like, my god, the community would be such a better place if we didn't use fucking Twitter as our fucking base of operations. Why the fuck did we, as a society, decide to use I swear to God, every problem in society, or most problems in society now, or a lot of problems in society, probably like 2 problems in society, would be
You went up to this and then went down to 2.
Shut up. Would be eased if we as a collective society did not suddenly use a fucking website with a goddamn character limit as our main platform for serious discussion. Really, from an existential and pragmatic logistical standpoint, don't you think that's pretty fucked up? That we use a website that limits our fucking posts, limits our tweets as our main caveat of conversation. Oh, I'll tell this now. I mean, I remember I posted something like on Twitter. It got like 100,000 views.
Right.
Got like 100,000 views for some reason, and I name dropped a couple Smashcasters. I was talking about how like really Smashcasting has been part about who you know, as well as your skill.
Mm-hmm.
And while I did exaggerate a bit and say it's 80% who you know and 20% skill, I'll preface this by saying it doesn't matter how many people you know. If you're bad at it, like, they're gonna notice that.
Yeah.
And one caster got really pissed at that because people have accused them of only getting in by their connections, which is not true. You know, they've gotten a lot better at casting as it's gone on, but because it's a tweet, and I didn't mention that, I didn't say that by words, apparently it's implied that I said they only got in by that way. And everyone else knew what I fucking meant. Like, everyone else was like, yo, this guy's spitting, like, straight facts. Like, they were quote retweeting me, like, you know, like how Twitter is. And, they got pissed and eventually deleted their tweet. But I sent them, like, a whole thing and everything because people have accused them before of, like, fucking, only getting in by that. And, like, people have accused them of only getting in by that way and, like, not being a good caster. And I didn't want to add to that. But that's also, you see my point? That's not what I fucking said.
Yeah.
I didn't say that at all. They just took
as
it
always,
that way.
it got misconstrued. It got misinterpreted.
Yeah.
As always.
Maybe because we use a platform with a fucking character limit to have these serious talks. And also, that tweet got 100,000 views for some reason. It was a reply to a friend of mine. Why? Like, imagine you're on Facebook and you reply and then there's 100,000 people see it. A random-ass YouTube comment or whatever that you're just replying to some random stranger and for whatever reason that one blows up. Where's the consistency in the algorithm there? Where's that shit, Elon? God damn, man. Like, it's like, we use this, like, public platform to talk about this kind of shit and, like, random tweets blow up when we don't want them to?
You know?
Why? So many people saw that for no reason. And granted, it's my fault because I posted it online on a public platform. There's that risk inherently. But at the same time, it's just like, fucking A, man. It's like...
Can I ask you something, though?
Yeah,
Do you
please.
remember, like, around the time of the internet when, not before even Twitter and Facebook was even ever conceived as a thing?
Yeah.
Do you remember online forums?
A little bit.
Do you remember those days, like, when you would go into the forums and, like, you would just kind of see, like, what people were talking about that day?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, just seeing, like, what the discussions were, like, what was going on, like, you know, what's on people's minds. Like,
They'd all sign off with, like, a special tag.
Yeah, like a little signature is what they call it. Yeah, they would have a little GIF, and it would just be, like, some cool, fucking, sometimes really corny-ass quote at the bottom of it always. It's like that was like
every single one.
Yeah, that was like their, you know, as they said, signature. And I'm thinking about that now, right? Because like that, at least before a lot of the platforms that we use today were ever even conceived, that was where, as it's even in the name, that was our forum to go and have these kind of, like, as you said, like kind of discussions that you probably can't conceivably have on a fucking, you know, on a system that basically has a character limit. Like, it's just not conceivable, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like, I know that if anyone's ever remembered a lot of those, like, online forums, like, I've been on a couple where some of them pertain to, like, games that I played. Even my car, like, has its own, like, online forums, its own community that just people come and talk to each other, like, about just anything.
Mm-hmm.
Pertaining to the car usually, but, like, they always have, like, an off-topic forum that you could just go to and, like, just kind of talk about whatever the fuck you want. But, like, I'm thinking back to those days now because it's like I don't really visit a lot of those forums. Or at the very least, like forums like that aren't like the like place to be to go and like talk to other people within, let's say, a content creators community or even just anything's community.
No, it's all
like,
been conglomerated.
Yeah, exactly, towards like kind of Twitter and Facebook, right? But like if you really compare the two, right? It's like if you are looking for, let's say, healthy discussion about, let's say, just carrots. There's a fucking forum online about just straight up carrots. It's just nothing but about carrots. What you could do with carrots, what carrots will help you in your body, like thing. It's just like everything about carrots.
But not that girl who was talking about how great carrots already uses dildos. We have banned her from the premises.
Yeah, we banned her. She is not allowed on our forums anymore. And you know the thing is that more often than not, those kind of environments, at least from what I remember, seemed almost like it's like a bygone age ago, but it just seemed way more, at least, civil compared to kind of what you get when you take a look at like the stereotypical discussion on a Twitter thread.
Yeah, like I made a tweet,
go ahead.
I made a tweet, literally trying to gas this caster up by saying like they know how to work smart. My point was I was trying to tell them to work smart and not hard, because I'm like, you gotta know people to break into this in the higher echelon.
Yeah.
But because they had flown out of pocket to a lot of events and stuff like that to like work events and stuff like that and really get their name out there or whatever, because I didn't mention all that because I was talking about other casters in the tweet, all of a sudden the negative is what's implied that I said. And like based on one's own insecurities or their own past experiences of people accusing them of something to the point where they assume that that's what I said. It really is true, that age-old meme, like, about Twitter. You can tweet, I like pancakes, and somebody will reply, oh, so you don't like waffles? So you have a problem with waffles? How dare you say that about waffles? I'm literally shaking right now. Like, it's insane. It's such a bad platform for communication, but we use it as the main hub for societal communication now about serious issues too. I'm not even just talking about Smash. Like whenever like
about
serious
anything,
about anything. Like I honest to God think Twitter needs to be like nuked, like deleted. And that's why I'm happy that Elon owns it, because that dumb fuck is making so many terrible decisions with it. It's great.
Let me also say though that at least as far as like Twitter, what kind of things Twitter promotes, one of them is poor reading comprehension.
Oh yeah,
I know if anyone has had finished high school here, everyone has heard that term reading comprehension, because we all had to fucking listen to our English teachers talk about it, especially for the SATs. And I didn't think, going off of what David has been saying for the last like couple minutes, I didn't have like a word for what it was that I noticed that a lot of people, like what their problems are when it comes to like reading anything on Twitter. And it's just kind of like, I think it's a mixture of things, where the primary things is that it's poor reading comprehension, and then just like high emotions for a lot of the most minuscule fucking things in the world.
Can I explain why I think that is?
Go ahead.
It's because if there's anything... Listen to me. I have a degree in communications. I'm actually trying to get a job in that right now because I'm like, okay, maybe I'm job hunting. Maybe I should get a job in that field.
You're gonna do it, bro. I believe in you.
I'm trying real hard, man. Job hunting sucks. You already know. And if there's anything I retained in my 3 years at that institution, is that when it comes to communications, golden rule, the medium is the message. I've said this plenty of times on the podcast before. The medium is the message. What does that mean, David? What it means is that whatever platform that you're using directly correlates to how your message will be interpreted. And so let me explain. Like if it's in a YouTube video, the way you absorb it will be different. Like an instructional YouTube video or whatever, or even just an entertaining YouTube video. Like your reaction to it is going to be correlated by the fact that it's a visual experience. This depending on how your brain works and whatnot, a podcast with no visuals besides the GIF loop that we have on YouTube will be interpreted by you guys differently because it's an audio-based show. There's no visuals for you to go by off of, like no visual aid for you to help. And as a result, because there's no visuals, what we're explaining to you right now, you're going to make your own images in your head off of the interpretations using your imagination. If you're reading a book, it's the same way. There's no pictures or nothing like that in a novel, so it's your imagination that's doing it. If you're playing a video game, you feel a different impact to dramatic scenes because you feel like you were directly involved in it because you were controlling it. That's why, Fox News and shit feels like, video games cause mass shootings because they feel like, oh, it's a different form of medium. You're doing it yourself. You're impacting with it. That's why they hate video games and not movies, completely ignoring the studies saying that violent video games don't want to kill people. You see what I'm trying to say? The medium is the message. So, when we as a society decide to use a platform with a character limit that's designed only to keep you scrolling as an addiction nature to get more users on their platform, as well as to just keep you on it for longer periods of time to view their advertisers, communication gets misconstrued because you have no way of expressing your whole point because you are literally limited in the words that you say. As a result, emotions tend to run higher because people project their own insecurities as to what you said, or more accurately, as to what you didn't say.
Can I also add on to
that?
That
is why when just one sec. That is why when I tweeted what I tweeted, instead of listening to what I fucking said, it was instead interpreted that I thought, oh, you only got in by your own connections as a caster, and you're terrible at casting because you got in this way because I said this is how you got into casting. When I never said that you were a bad caster, I never fucking said that. You just took it that way because you've had other people accuse you of that in the past. It encourages emotional responses. So that's why I said, that's why the medium is the message. Dennis, please go on with what you were going to say.
Also, to add to that,
yes.
I wanted to ask you that, do you also think because of that character limit that people don't want to kind of have, let's say, lengthy discussions, but rather just go towards the vitriol immediately because it's their gut reaction? And it's a lot of it is, I like to think, kind of just you and I, we've always called it manufactured outrage because no one really gives a fuck. I really truly think at the end of the day,
every now and again, a lot of it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to think at least 80% of it is all manufactured. No one really, honestly gives a flying fuck about the whole pancake the pancake and waffles discussion. I really don't. If we're going to take that as the example, no one really truly gives a fuck. No one is in real life going to literally, I don't know, shiv a guy in the fucking neck because oh, you like waffles more than pancakes. It's not going to be the actual response people are going to have, which is at least why that, and we always, Dave Chappelle has said it and many others, Twitter is not a real place.
I literally had a TO of a Smash tournament tell me that to my face the other day when I was talking about what happened to me on Twitter. He's like, Twitter's not a real place, David. Who gives a fuck? And we all laughed about it. It was great.
Yeah. And he's right. It's not a real place
it's really
whatsoever.
Not.
And not to mention, a lot of those people, and maybe this is kind of draconic to say, but if half of let's say, people on Twitter just ended up just kind of dying, all of a sudden, they just dropped dead, would not put a dent in my life whatsoever. I would not care.
Of course not.
No, that's why I'm saying. It's just people also they kind of harness that outrage because for one, if their whole business, let's say, is on Twitter, or at least it's a part of it, you want more people to kind of be looking because it's just feeding the algorithm at that point. It's all numbers in the end, really. But it's if we're just going back to let's say just human response and human emotion, this is not that response that you get or got from the whole waffle and pancakes discussion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is not a real response. And I know people will say, what the fuck you mean it's not a real response? It's it's not really what they're feeling. Because truth of the matter is that if we take away the context of what Twitter is, which is just let's say online forum with a character limit, right? It still pales to what real life is. and to what, let's say, a discussion in real life is like compared to, let's say, what it is in Twitter. Because at the end of the day, as we said, me and David and even his homie from before, it's not a real place. It's very much a meaningless online existence. It really fucking is.
Which is
like,
why it's bad that we use it for
I know.
serious shit.
But that's why I think even years down the line, right? It's like again, I always say, like, maybe it's just because I'm getting older that I'm thinking of, like, the future a little too much. But it's just kind of like, the more I think about it, it's like, who in their right mind is going to be growing up, they're pushing 50 or 60, and they're going to be looking back at all their fucking tweets? Like, who? No one in the world will be doing that. It says it will happen as often as people actually opening up their photo albums to look at the fucking photos they took. It'll be the exact same equivalent of people with Instagrams. They're never going to look at those photos again. I guarantee you they will not be looking back at it. At the very least, if they lead or currently have a pretty sad life, devoid of any real sort of human interaction or emotion, or even just loved ones in their real life, they'll be looking back because they'll be like that. Because when you're at that point in your life, you kind of really just are looking for anything that'll remind you of better times, because right now the times you live in are pretty shit. But any person with a healthy relationships all around between, like, friends, families, and loved ones, no one's really gonna be looking back at that shit and thinking, oh my god, that was great. No. It's not gonna happen.
Unless it was about a time in your life that was actually meaningful. But again, the medium is the message, so depending on which one you're using, it's not like that. You know,
it's the exception, not the norm either, too.
Exactly. Like, Instagram is all about that vanity and stuff like that, and then Twitter is just idiots, like, or celebrities acting like idiots, or just a lot of virtue signaling. That's why I wanted to talk about fucking Hogwarts Legacy. You know that shit?
Yeah, I guess this will be our last topic before we...
Well, I'm going to correlate it into the topic that we had, I suppose. This is why I say the medium is the message, because when it's short-form content, like, if anything, we should be using, like longer platforms for it. Like, that
or
let
even
us
go back
express
to
our whole
forums.
things.
Those are some good days.
Forums, even fucking Facebook, which obviously I have my own problems with. Like, Facebook is, like, bad for different reasons. I low-key think it's better than Twitter now. I've gone full circle. I used to think the opposite completely, and now I've, like, kind of gone full circle. But, yeah. But yeah, I agree with what you were saying in, like, you know, short form, it's different, you know, like, maybe, like, people's attention spans are just so much smaller, because, like, you could post something that's actually meaningful, like, explaining what you mean, and then you'll have at least one fucking prick in the replies who think he's the biggest fucking comedian, will never have the balls to, like, get him up in front of people and actually tell jokes, saying, yo, I ain't reading all that, I'm sorry that happened, or I'm proud of you. They post that same stupid meme. Over serious shit, too. When somebody's like, oh, apologies or whatever, or this person, God forbid, like, raped me or whatever, like, people reveal that on social media. I'm serious.
Rowling's raped me.
And then people will literally reply, yo, I ain't reading all that. Because it's too much. Like, and as a result, there's people whose, like, actual, like, serious drama, like, actual, like, serious shit that goes down in their life is nothing but drama to, like, the drones online. It's nothing but entertainment to these fucking people. All the stories that came out in 2020 about the Smash community, it was entertainment to so many fucking people. And there's YouTubers who are trying to profit off of that now. It's so sad and pathetic, like, that it literally becomes content. This is what I mean when I say the medium is the message. When there's a character limit, the attention span becomes shorter, and then serious shit, which we should not be having these discussions on, become nothing but entertainment because they don't have enough of an attention span to pay more attention to it for more than what they live given length is worth.
Or even process the information. Like,
it's
even
so
if...
stupid, man. I hate Twitter. It is such a bad platform.
I'll even go as far as to say that even if, like, that character limit was even just 50 characters, a little higher, people still would have the attention span.
It's longer than what it used to be, too. They doubled it, like, a couple of years ago. It used to
still didn't do shit, apparently.
It used to be, like, 120. It's 240 now.
Still hasn't done shit, though, regardless.
Dude, Twitter just deserves to burn. That's why I'm very happy that more than half of the advertisers have it pulled out. I'm very happy. I honestly hope. I really pray to God that I wake up one day and the app just doesn't open. I really hope that happens.
Like
I
you have
really
like that domain for sale fucking sign that comes up when you go
And I
into
think
Twitter.
some good has come from Twitter. Like it reveals things that mainstream media doesn't show, where they have their own agendas. Sometimes some good has actually come from it when it comes to real stories. But
Yeah, I
my
can't discount
God,
it for that. Yeah.
Oh my God, it is making people
But
so stupid.
the thing is that when the like very core of the app promotes essentially stupidity, if you really break it all down,
From fake people
it's pretty
too, with literally
flawed.
fake
It's very
followers.
flawed. It's very flawed.
Instagram does the same thing though. It's like people bot followers and be like, you know, somebody has a viral tweet just like, yo, I can't believe Will Smith's like said this after the slap. 500,000 likes, you know, whatever reason. Oh, yo, buy this dildo in the comments. I'm not kidding. They all promote the same dildos.
Yeah.
It's like they're bots and shit. It's like, I hate it so much. If there's any good that Elon did is that he got rid of all the pedophiles on that platform. That is what I will say. He actually did do that. Like, there were, like, open pedophiles on it, and he got rid of there. So, Elon, I'm sorry for calling you a complete dumbass before. You're only half dumbass. Sorry. Point
Only
is...
half? I think he's still 3/4. I
Maybe-
mean, well,
yeah, that's actually, you know, 60, 70%.
yeah, good
70%
2/3.
dumbass.
Good 2/3.
Good 2/3. Yeah, that's a better way to say it. Point is, manufactured outrage. You're not actually mad about
Anything.
Hogwarts
Really.
Legacy.
You're not mad about anything. No
How
one,
many
you're not
people-
fooling anybody.
How many people are boycotting Hogwarts Legacy and then they like fucking logged into Overwatch that same day? You think that's a rhetorical question? It's not, Dennis. How many people boycotted Hogwarts Legacy? No, I'm asking you this because you know everything. How many people boycotted Hogwarts Legacy and then logged into Overwatch that same day? Just solo queued up. You know, solo queued up for some Overwatch right after that.
It's like they have two monitors. One's playing Overwatch and one's playing Hogwarts Legacy.
No, they're not playing Hogwarts Legacy. They're tweeting about it, telling people to stop playing it.
As
Which,
they
where
play
was that outrage for the Harry Potter musical? The Harry Potter musical, Harry Potter and
Oh,
the
that
Cursed
was
Child.
before everyone found out that.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, she was already a TERF. Everybody already knew she was a TERF.
But like I heard that it wasn't until like much later that she started to get.
Okay,
a
no, we're
lot of
finding out
flack
right
for
now.
it.
We're finding out right now. Hold on a second.
Because I know like it
When
did
did-
come out before like a lot of the outrage started to really catch on fire. Like
When did Harry Potter
like,
and the
it
Cursed
caught-
Child
catch
open
on
on
fire,
Broadway?
like, caught on.
April 21st, 2018. That was when that shit opened.
Her shit, no, like she
When
started
did
spewing
people
off a lot of that shit way
Find
later,
out
man.
J.K. Rowling.
She was spewing out a lot of shit way
Are
after
you
that.
sure?
Yeah.
There's no way. Hold on.
Yeah, it was after, man.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
about like
oh.
a good year.
Yeah, you're right.
It was
says
about a
right
good
here,
year
June
afterwards.
6, 2020. Fuck!
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, 2 years.
All right, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, because
But it's still listen. It's still running on Broadway though.
but you know the thing is though,
I want to see those motherfucking protesters outside on fucking Broadway.
waving their wands and shit.
I'll actually respect that. Like if people, dude, real shit. If people boycott Harry Potter in general, I'm not reading no more books. I'm not seeing the movies because it offends me what she said. I respect that. I
But
do
at
not
the same
respect people calling you a transphobe for playing the game, because you're not.
Yeah,
You're
that's the
not.
thing.
That's-
At the other end,
And
of
I
it,
don't give a
it's-
fuck about Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not playing that shit.
I know. Like, but that's why I'm even thinking because I want to play it, and
It looks sick. I can't lie.
No, yeah,
Harry-
it does. Like,
a
it looks.
Harry
the
Potter.
the studio did such a fucking.
A Harry
Oh my
Potter
God.
Souls-like. Whoever's idea that was, like legit fucking
Deserve
raise.
a
Give him a
promotion.
raise. Seriously, that shit was actually brilliant. Even when I found out about that game, I got excited. And I low-key want to try it as well. The game even has like there's trans characters in it and stuff like that. You think those people like Rowling? Hell, there might be trans people who worked on the game for all we know.
The thing is,
Not saying there was. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying everybody thinks like every single cent that you spend on that game is going directly to fucking Rowling's pockets. And like they're not.
well, I mean, it's still
lot,
her IP.
maybe.
It's
It
still
is
her
still-
IP. She's
And I
still getting them
respect-
royalties.
I respect the fuck out of people for not wanting to buy it for that reason. Seriously, I do. I don't want to buy Blizzard games no more. I will say that straight up. I don't. But like they did cube crawls in that company, going up women's skirts, like passing around naked photos of them to the point where they thought the only way out was suicide. I'm very uncomfortable with that. So I'm not buying Blizzard games no more. Not that I was doing much of it in the first place, but I did. I played Call of Duty, which is owned by them now. So
I still play Blizzard games too, but does that make me
and
a
I don't
fucking,
judge.
like?
Yes.
Does that make me an
yes.
animal?
Yes.
I
Yes.
guess so then. I
Yes.
guess I'm an animal.
Yes. Yes. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, well, I guess even case in point, like, I guess my last thought about, like, that whole Hogwarts Legacy thing, and it's gonna be real quick.
Yeah.
No matter what your thoughts are on J.K. Rowling, two things still remain, is that she still made that universe that all y'all love. And you could hate her, but you can't hate the work. I feel as if it's just two separate fucking things. And at the end of the day, too, is that, like, going back to when they were having that whole Harry Potter reunion, just getting all the original cast members together, and this was around the time when a lot of her controversy was starting to really, like, you know, catch on with everybody online.
Yeah.
I still don't agree that they didn't invite her, because of the fact that at the very least, like, you know, for all the people who were basically on Harry Potter, but, like, the people who, you know, essentially got their careers jump started because of, like, the success of the movies. Say what you want about her, really, but it's like, hey, you still owe her for, like, essentially even having you be where you are today. I don't know who the fuck Daniel Radcliffe was before Harry Potter. I don't know who the fuck Rupert Grint was or Emma Watson. But at the very least,
Rupert
it's
Grint.
like,
He's in the new M. Night Shyamalan movie. Rupert Grint.
Ron? Okay.
Yeah, Ron Weasley.
Ron. But at the same
Ron,
time,
Ron,
like, I'm not
Ron.
I'm not taking nothing away from anyone who has their thoughts about her. Like, you're at the end of the day, it's your life.
You're fully
If you
entitled to
don't-
that opinion.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't
Like,
want,
she's gone off on trans women on fucking Twitter. It's pretty cringe. I can't lie.
it's almost like an incel, like in a female's body.
A femcel, as I like to call
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
She's
But it's
kind
just
of like
kinda
a
like-
femcel.
But that's why I'm saying it's like there is a duality to all of it, and I think the whole act of portraying people who like a let's say IP, but now they're labeled as monsters because of the fact that the creator was themselves a monster is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Just don't do that.
Just watch that
Let
donkey
them
video.
enjoy their fucking game. Let them enjoy their shitty books. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but
let
dude,
them
Twitch
enjoy
streamers
this
have
what
been
it
fucking
is.
bullied. They've been like bullying Twitch
So
streamers who are
fucking
playing this
stupid.
game. I'm like, how do you not realize you're the bully here? They don't hate trans people for unless they have a banner on their fucking Twitch saying like, I'm playing this because I hate because J.K. Rowling hates trans people.
Yeah, but
and
no
so
one's
do
gonna
I,
do
which-
that though. It's
Yeah.
so stupid.
Unless they're doing it ironically, and even if they're doing it ironically, bad fucking idea, idiot. But like,
Unless you're Donkey, who
Yeah.
could, like, you know.
please watch that donkey video. That was the most base thing I've ever seen in my life. My, like, my God, I am playing the Hogwarts Legacy game right now. Okay, so some people in the comments have been telling me not to play the Hogwarts Legacy game. So instead, I'm playing Overwatch. Okay, so guys, I found out some things about the people who made Overwatch. I thought it was only going to be like the first 3 games, and then the whole video was like that. I'm like, you are so...
It was like a timeline of all the controversies like that we've had in the last like 4 years.
Was honestly that video was like historical. God, I love Donkey so much. His videos have such an aura of autism around them. It's just, ugh. And I
The
can
guy
say that.
himself,
I have Asperger's.
The guy himself too. He actually like he articulates himself pretty well. Like
There is a slide race in Donkey Kong 64 against the beetle, and you can punch the beetle before the race, so I did. But when I did, this happens. What? The beetle hit me. What the fuck? He is. I get it now. He is funny as fuck.
yeah,
Like he's one of those guys with just a funny voice. It's like what part of the reason that people like JonTron's old shit. His fucking voice is just hilarious.
it was like 40% their voice. Because like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's still great content creators. Like say
Oh,
what you
you
want
can-
about
yeah.
JonTron. Like I still
Oh,
watch
see,
his
you're
shit.
misinterpreting what I said. Like Twitter, you're thinking I'm saying it's only because of their voice.
Oh, you caught me on that. Okay.
Real life is becoming Twitter.
No. As long as we hold ourselves accountable, we'll be fine.
No one holds themselves accountable on Twitter.
Not in online, but in real life, you have to. In real life.
Do they?
No,
that
the people
depends.
should. People should. See, now you're misinterpreting what I said.
Oh shit! We're done. We gotta end it right. We gotta end
Before
it
we
before
misinterpret each other again.
Okay, we're done. The Twitter.com. We actually do have a Twitter.
I got something lock and loaded. Like you're about to say like your plugs and stuff. It's like, well, you're not gonna mention Facebook.
Thanks for ruining the joke before I did the plugs. Maybe I'll edit it in. Okay, whatever. Here's the plugs. At Double D Pod on Twitter, the Double D Experience 21 on Instagram. We're available wherever you get your podcasts: YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. Follow and subscribe wherever your favorite platform, podcast platform listening area is. Check out our YouTube shorts as well, our shorts section on youtube.com/Nintoonist, and be sure to subscribe there, like the video, leave a comment, all that good stuff. So there's the plugs, guys. Did I forget?
You're gonna leave out your.
We love you guys. See you next week.
Fuck Twitter, man.
Bye.
Bring back online forums.
Please.
Bring back signatures.
Can we just like start using Pornhub comments? Like that'd be like
Pornhub's
better.
way more civil than anywhere else,
Dude,
apparently.
I know. You think it's a joke. It's not.
I
It's
know.
not a joke.
Dude, I just misinterpreted you again. No!